Okay guys, we're back on the workbench today. Today we're going to be installing one of these into my XJ. What I have here is a spare transfer case that I'm going to use for demonstration purposes. This is not going to be going into this one. But I kind of wanted to show you guys more or less what this is. So this is your Speedo or your part of the speedometer sensor, and this is one of the components that goes in it. So what happens is that the tail shaft output, the output tail shaft, has gears in it or teeth in it that spin and engage into one of these, and that gets sent off into an electronic sensor, and the electronic sensor gets sent out to your speedometer, which is what you see up on the dash and on your cluster gauge. So what happens is that when you upgrade to tires and swap gears and do all that kind of stuff, you throw this out of range, and it'll give you an inaccurate tire, or I should say an inaccurate speed rating, and can also give you an inaccurate mileage rating on your speedometer. Now, if you don't care about that, that's fine. That's completely up to you. But since we do, this is what we're gonna be doing. So, because on my truck, on my Jeep specifically, I have 456 gears and a 35-inch tire. I need a different tooth count on my drive gear here. So, like any other good Jeeper, I went onto Google and I found this. This is a rugged ridge that is a 37 teeth, and this is a short shaft because it's short from here, this plastic portion. This is what's indicated to go into my Cherokee, which is, I believe, actually it'll go into any transfer case. I believe it's up to 93 to 2005. I'm not too sure, but it'll say on there. It'll give you the year ranges that these gear tooth speedometer gear tooths go into. So you select the year that you need, and there is a handy dandy chart that you can use to go ahead and get the correct gear tooth for your application. And I'll try to find it and post it up. Actually, I found it on Iron Rock Off-Road, and they didn't have this specific 37 tooth, but I used it to get a reference for it. So in this case, this is an NP231 or out of a 99 XJ, and we're gonna be swapping it into this one. But I'm just gonna show you guys what we're gonna be using. So we're gonna be using a 13mm hex, and that's pretty much all that you need to do this swap. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go in here and you're gonna remove the clip that's holding this together. Now, remember the orientation that this is at, because this is going to be important when you're setting everything back up. And also, just depends on what year you have. This little fork that you're taking off has these little tabs that help orientate it in the correct position. You see right here, and you can get your bolt in there, and you can rotate it so slightly if you're just a little bit off. But this comes off. You keep tabs on that, and if you can, if at all best possible, spray some compressed air on here before you remove this, so you prevent some of the crap that's hanging onto your transfer case from going into your transfer case. Because it's on the bench, I've already vacuumed it. I actually already removed this. This is a little bit of a booger to get out. initially, so you may have to wiggle with it. Just be careful not to break it, and if you wiggle enough, it'll come out. So what you're gonna end up doing is, this is the part that swaps out, and like I was telling you, this is a short shaft. All that's different is obviously the color, but this gear tooth count is different. And what I was talking about, let me see if I can get some light in there. You see that the teeth, that's part of the output shaft, and that's what it engages to, and eventually gives you your speedometer reading up on your cluster. So if you have an SYE kit or not, like in this case, this transfer case does not have an SYE, it'll give you, it'll have either this metallic one or it'll have a plastic collar that goes in place. Actually, let me verify that. Sorry about that. So for demonstration purposes, I have an SYE here, and you can see that there is a plastic collar in there, which is where that speedometer will engage into. So you can see it in here, and this is where your speed sensor will go into with that new gear drive. And this is going to be, of course, the output shaft that replaces that old housing. This is the new housing that replaces this. So, I'll put this aside real quick. Yeah, this is a mess. So, we'll finish setting that up later. But this is what you need to do essentially to replace that gear. And what you need to do is you need to come up and pop this off. You might need to use both hands. And your new gear tooth just inserts and it pops right in. Remembering the orientation, more or less. This will help you reorientate it into the correct position. Now, something that you want to take a look at is probably that O2 ring that's in there before you tighten all of this down. Of course, inside your vehicle or under your vehicle, you're gonna have a connection here. You need to undo that, or be careful not to pull on it. But you essentially tighten this down and you have a new speed sensor, and you should be done, guys. So yeah, it's a pretty easy swap. Now I'm gonna go do this for real on the Jeep. And alright, thanks for watching, guys.